The forbidden Book of Enoch reveals shocking mysteries about our history. The Enoch Manuscript begins with a warning to all humanity about the fallen angels who have turned the earth into a haven for debauchery, bloodshed, and sorcery. The massive forbidden book was written around 2,000 years ago, with the earliest writings dating back to around 300 BC, and the most recent records dating back to around 100 BCE. During the first centuries of the new calendar, the Book of Enoch was removed from the Jewish and Christian biblical canons. It reveals secrets that the Church is keeping quiet about. Enoch was described in ancient writings as the guardian of all the treasures of heaven, the chief of the archangels, and the immediate minister of the throne of God. There is also talk about the fallen angels and how they sinned here on earth by making love with earthly women and revealing heavenly secrets to them that the human race was not yet ready for. The fact that the book contained prophecies about Christ himself most likely influenced its prohibition. Stay tuned until the end to find out what the most mysterious and sacred book in human spiritual history scares the Church with. Who is Enoch? Enoch is the son of Jared, a seventh-generation descendant of the first man, Adam, and the great-grandfather of the famous Noah. He is a teacher and educator, and his name means initiator. The Old Testament does not mention his writings, but he is mentioned in Genesis 5:21-24, just enough to confirm his existence and describe his life in the iconic phrase that has given rise to countless interpretations. And Enoch walked after God and disappeared because God took him. According to legend, Enoch is the biblical king and priest Melchizedek. One traditional explanation for the existence of Christian apocryphal literature alongside official Christian literature is that the Apocrypha provide answers where Holy Scripture is silent or behaves mysteriously. Enoch is also credited with inventing writing and astrology. He also communicates with God and serves as a religious teacher for the people, a prophet, and a sage. Many church fathers, including Justin Martyr, Athenagoras of Athens, Irenaeus, Clement of Alexandria, Origen, Tertullian, and Lactantius, wrote about Enoch and spoke highly of him. Their writings make numerous references to the Book of Enoch, and in some cases they explicitly advocate the use of the book as scripture. Going back to Genesis, he is described as the seventh of 10 patriarchs before the flood, and each of them is said to have lived for several centuries. Genesis 5 gives the genealogy of these 10 people, from Adam to Noah, indicating the age at which each became the father of the next and the age at which each died. However, Enoch is an exception, as he is said to have not seen death, as written in Hebrews 11:5. Furthermore, Genesis 5:22-24 states that Enoch lived 365 years, which is significantly less than the other antediluvian patriarchs, who died at the age of over 700. The brief account of Enoch in Genesis 5 concludes with the cryptic verse, "He was not, for God took him." When viewed in context, everything that follows demonstrates Enoch's great devotion to the Lord, as well as the Lord's great love and special treatment of Enoch. Some believe that Enoch was translated alive into God's kingdom as his angel. This is how he has not seen death is interpreted. Let us examine Enoch's 5 volumes to see what is contained within them, who scares, and how. Watcher's Book. This is the first book in the manuscript. It was written around the year 300 BCE. Describes the descent of the Watchers, or Watcher angels, who become the fathers of the Nephilim. Genesis 6:1-4. This work also includes accounts of Enoch's travels in the heavens. In the introduction, Enoch is described as a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God so that he saw the visions sent to him by the Holy One in heaven. He showed him the sons of God, and from them he hears and knows everything he sees, but what he sees will happen to a future generation, not this one. The book also describes God's arrival on Mount Sinai with his armies to pronounce judgment on humanity. How everything is predestined by God and happens in his time. Sinners will perish, while the great and good will live in light, joy, and peace. The first section of the book describes how fallen angels interact with humans. Samiaza coerces the remaining 199 fallen angels into taking human wives in order to bear them children, and their leader, Samiaza, told them, I'm afraid that you will not really agree to do this deed, and I alone will have to pay the penalty for a great sin." And they all replied, "Let us all swear, and all bind ourselves by mutual oaths, not to abandon this plan, but to do this deed." Then they all swore and cursed each other to bind themselves to him. And there were 200 of them who went down to the top of Mount Hermon in the days of Jared, and named it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual oaths on it. As a result, the Nephilim, or giants, are created as described in the book, and they became pregnant and gave birth to great giants 300 feet tall, who destroyed all men's gains. On earth, there was genuine hell and chaos. The book also discusses fallen angels' decadent training of humans, most notably Azazel. And Azazel taught men how to make swords, knives, shields and breastplates, as well as the metals of the earth and the art of working them, bracelets, ornaments, the use of antimony, the beautification of the eyelids, all kinds of precious stones and all colorings. And a great deal of wickedness arose, and they committed fornication, went astray and became corrupt in every way. Samyaza taught enchantment and eradication, Amoro's enchantment resolution, Barakijal astrology, Kokabel constellations, Ezekiel cloud knowledge, Arakil earth signs, Shamsul sun signs, and Serial lunar course. Then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel petitioned God to judge the world's inhabitants and fallen angels. God sends Uriel to warn Noah of the impending disaster and what he must do. Then the Most High said to Noah, "Hide yourself, and reveal to him the end that is coming, that the entire earth will be destroyed, and a flood will come upon the entire earth, and destroy everything on it. And now instruct him so that he may be saved, and his seed may be preserved for all future generations." God instructs Raphael to imprison Azazel, Gabriel to instruct on the Nephilim, and Michael to bind the fallen angels. Book of Proverbs. The Book of Proverbs is comprised of chapters 37 to 71 of the Book of Enoch. The scholarly debate here revolves around the thesis that it is based on the Book of the Watchers as a supplement, in which it presents the later development of the idea of the final judgment and eschatology, dealing not only with the fate of the fallen angels, but also with the wicked kings of the fallen angels, but also with the wicked kings of the earth. The expression Son of Man is used for the eschatological hero who is also known as the Righteous One, Elect One, and Messiah, and who sits on the throne of glory at the final judgment. The title Son of Man was first used as a specific title in the Hebrew scriptures in the Book of Enoch, and its use may have influenced early Christian understanding and use of the title. The astronomical book is a book about astronomy. At Qumran, 4 fragmentary editions of the astronomical book were discovered. They also contain information not found in later editions of the Book of Enoch. This book contains descriptions of the movement of the celestial bodies, as well as knowledge of the cosmos revealed to Enoch during his journeys to heaven, guided by Uriel. It describes the solar calendar, which was later described in the Dead Sea Sect's Book of Jubilees. The year consisted of 364 days divided into 4 equal seasons of 91 days each. Each season consisted of 3 30-day months, plus 1 extra day at the end of the 3rd month. As a result, the entire year was made up of exactly 52 weeks. Every year and season began on Wednesday, which was the 4th day of creation as described in Genesis, the day when the stars, the seasons, the days, and the years were created. The book Dreams. This book contains visions of Israel's history dating back to what most interpret as the Maccabean Revolt, which occurred between 163 and 142 BCE. It was written before the biblical flood, according to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The book then moves on to visions and allegorical accounts of Israel's history, in which animals are used as symbols of humans and humans are used as symbols of angels. The message of Enoch. Scholars believe that this manuscript was written around 170 BCE. The book is divided into 5 sections here. Apocalypse of the Weeks. This section tells the story of the world through 10 weeks, 7 of which are about the past and 3 about the future. The climax occurs in the 7th week of the 10th month, when a new heaven shall appear, and there shall be many weeks without number until the age, and all shall be in goodness and righteousness. Exhortation. This brief list of exhortations to follow righteousness given by Enoch to his son Methuselah serves as a bridge to the following subsection. The first section of the epistle describes God's wisdom, the ultimate reward of the righteous, the punishment of the wicked, and the two distinct paths of righteousness and unrighteousness. Then there are 6 oracles directed at sinners, as well as the testimony of all creation against them and assurance of their fate after death. The birth of Noah. This section appears as an appendix in the Qumran fragment, separated from the previous text by a blank line. It tells the story of Noah, who was born with the appearance of an angel. Finally, this application is not found in Qumran and is thought to be the work of the last redactor. It emphasizes generation of light as opposed to sinners doomed to darkness. Why is this ancient Bible book ignored and even banned by the official religion, despite the fact that it contains so much history about our ancestors? What else does she have to say? It has already become clear that one of the reasons for the book's ban is most likely because it begins with a warning to mankind, describing the divine judgment that will meet all those unworthy of salvation. The following describes how the bloodthirsty giants, also known as Nephilim, who roamed the earth as described in Genesis, first appeared. They also serve as an explanation for the flood, but God warned Noah and saved the people regardless. Accounts of Enoch's travels through heaven's kingdoms, which detail the powers of heaven and the cruelty that awaits depraved people, are also likely to be despised. Wasn't the church's problem caused by scaring the faithful into providing such detailed information? And perhaps some of the facts in this information are inconvenient. The book discusses strange creatures with advanced technology who visited our planet in an open and direct manner. They shared their technology with their hybrid offspring, which harmed humanity greatly. The book explains in detail how and why all evidence of this was destroyed by the Great Flood. One thing is certain. Something in this book irritates a lot of people. Isn't this proof of ancient aliens visiting Earth? On his journeys to heaven and back, who and how did Enoch ascend and descend? Can we assume that these were extraterrestrials, and that Enoch had contact with one of this society's sovereigns? Today, no one is looking for answers to questions. Not openly, because these writings have been denied and labelled as apocryphal. All we have to do now is read between the lines and wait for the day when the truth is revealed. More interesting information can be found on our channel. Please thumbs up the video and don't forget to subscribe. Guys, until next time. Likewise, thank you for watching the Bible Decoded.